Fibertron is located in the Florida Panhandle in a town called Baker at the Rocking R Ranch. Baker is 28 miles north of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, home of the world's largest Air Force base, Eglin Air Force Base. Many technological companies are based here, and Fibertron Incorporated is proud to make this location our base of operation. We are an American company using all parts made in the United States, serving the world. We proudly display a Made in the USA sticker on all products we manufacture. Fibertron is a manufacturer of electrostatic systems. These systems create a seamless, waterproof, fireproof, and scuff-resistant coating by shooting conductive nylon fibers into a conductive two-part epoxy glue. All of the Fibertron systems consist of 4 different essential wires. Applicators are constructed to be interchangeable with all systems, and all systems come with a 5-year warranty. The ground wire connects here, and its purpose is to ground the wet epoxy. Be sure and clean the alligator clip after each use. The power cord is a 3-prong cord that connects here on the unit. The Fibertron system must be powered by a true grounded outlet. If an extension cord is required, be sure and use a 3-prong cord. The larger system comes with a remote control, and this is where it connects to the system. The high voltage line connects here with a gentle twist, and the line connects to the applicator handle in similar fashion. All applicator handles are equipped with a safety guard to protect the system operator from personal electrostatic shock. Do not put your hands beyond this point while the system is on or off prior to grounding. All systems come equipped with either a strobe or LED lights to make the system operator aware that the system is on. Some of our larger systems come with a built-in air compressor for use with the airbrush system. The on-off switch for the air compressor is located here. The air hose connects to the compressor at this location. Some systems come with an airbrush system. Be sure and read the airbrush manual prior to use. The straight handle connects to all applicator heads. It is constructed of the highest quality non-conductive materials. Here we have the straight handle and the curved handle, and both are interchangeable with all applicator heads. In order to connect the straight handle to the curved handle, the C square extension is necessary. This will enable the system operator to reach hard-to-get areas. This is the G47 applicator and is used for small to medium, flat, or lightly curved areas. It is the basic applicator. The G22 is for shooting fibers into difficult corners, curves, and hard-to-get-to areas, like the area between the windshield and auto dash. The G55 applicator has a similar function to the G22, except it can retain more fiber. The G1010 or the G68 applicator is for large areas. The G1010 must be powered by our largest system. The flat applicator is a multifunction applicator head. It shoots fiber that has been shot upon a surface but did not penetrate the epoxy. The flat applicator can be used like a vacuum to remove unwanted fibers from a curved surface. All applicator heads, with the exception of the flat applicator, come with a screen to retain fiber in the cup. The fibers must line up when charged and shoot out like darts through the screen in order to depart from the applicator cup. The trough area of the screen will collect fiber from time to time and can make it difficult to close the screen. Remove built-up fiber with a vacuum or air compressor. Surface preparation is an important aspect of the Fibertron process. Fibertron is only as good as the surface it is applied to. The smoother the better. You must fill in all of the holes, cracks, and separations. Remove all dirt, oil, grease, wax, or liquid. If a surface is porous, it must be sealed because Fibertron fibers must be embedded into the epoxy equal to 10% of its length, which is approximately 7 to 9 mils. Test the surface for wax and refer to the Fibertron manual on surface preparation. Fibertron recommends the 1/8 inch mohair roller. This throwaway roller will give an even coat of epoxy. The ideal brush is the China bristle brush. They are more expensive than average brushes, but it can provide you with longer use if it is properly cleaned after each use. If mistakes are made, one must melt back the fibers with a hot air gun or blowtorch. Singe back fibers, then seal with a latex paint, and then start over with epoxy. Make sure the latex paint is dry before starting the Fibertron process. Try to avoid people touching Fibertron prior to curing. As a safety precaution, Fibertron recommends a dust mask and goggles be worn when shooting fibers. Masking an area is an option. You have a 2-hour open time when the temperature is 70 to 80 degrees. Remove masking tape prior to shooting fiber. The Fibertron system will only function properly with a true grounded outlet. To be absolutely certain you have a properly grounded outlet, use the ground check. The epoxy is the most important part of the Fibertron process. If the epoxy is too thin, the fiber could be rubbed off, and if the epoxy is too thick, then you will see the epoxy through the fiber, and it will have the appearance that the surface was not coated well. The epoxy must be perfect, and that is very easy to do if you first mix the B epoxy well prior to blending with the A. For large jobs, pre-tinning the B epoxy for the entire job is recommended. 1 gallon of epoxy will cover approximately 150 square feet. The formula for the epoxy is 1 part A to 1 part B, plus approximately 20% acetone, plus 1 to 2% tint per volume. The layman way of mixing the epoxy is to add small amounts of acetone to achieve the correct consistency. If you wish to use epoxy with a spray gun, you must thin the epoxy 50% with acetone. This requires system operator to make sure that 7 to 9 mils of epoxy is shot upon the surface. A respirator is required. The A part of the epoxy is clear. Blend equal amounts of A to B. Stir the mixture well. The thinner for the epoxy is acetone and can be purchased locally at any hardware or paint store. Your goal when mixing the acetone is to add small amounts to the AB mixture and stir. After each stirring, look at the drips coming off the stirring stick. If they stretch out more than 1/8 of an inch, more acetone is needed. When the 1/8 inch drip is achieved as depicted, then the mixture is ready to coat the surface. Pigment is used for giving the epoxy a base color. Fibertron is a 3-dimensional color and you can see the depth of the fibers. Therefore, all epoxy must be tinted. To make a dark color, put the base color in first, then add black until you achieve the desired color. To make a light color, start with white, then add the base color until the desired color is achieved. It is important to obtain the 1/8 inch drip. Add acetone and stir. Check the drip. Continue this action until you have obtained the desired 1/8 inch drip. When you reach the 1/8 inch drip from the stirring stick, the epoxy is perfect and ready to apply. Open time is 2 hours and temperatures ranging between 70 to 80 degrees. With your blended epoxy, you are ready for application. Some jobs may require masking, especially if you wish to obtain a fine line. Here the foot panel of a Sea-Doo is being masked. The ground wire must be connected to the wet epoxy, and many times common sense will dictate where to place the alligator clip. Now we are ready to apply our self-leveling epoxy glue that is conductive. Remember 2-hour open time. We want a glass-like coat on the entire surface. Make sure it is as smooth and brushstroke free as possible. Proper lighting will allow the system operator to better view areas that may not be well painted. Remove any epoxy that has been applied to areas that are not to be Fibertroned with a dry cloth. Refer to the Fibertron training manual for full directions on coating fiberglass camper shells. Prior to shooting the fiber, remove any masking tape. Before shooting the fiber, the ground wire must be attached to the wet epoxy. This is extremely important. Do not forget. Clean area prior to shooting fiber. Use a dry cloth to remove any unwanted epoxy. Paint masking tape for the ground clip and attach the ground wire. Start shooting the fibers. Refer to the Fibertron manual for the fiber blending to make colors. All applicators are filled with fiber in an identical way. Don't overfill the applicators. Only fill them 75%. Shoot 2 to 3 inches away from the surface. Always shoot from the bottom of the surface or object to the top. This action will prevent fiber from falling on wet epoxy and laying down. For every fiber that has laid down, it takes the place of 9 fibers that could be embedded perpendicularly. 1 pound of fiber will cover 65 square feet. Never hold an applicator with fiber in it over a wet epoxy area with the system off. Fibers may accidentally fall onto the epoxy. You must shake the applicator. This motion stirs the fibers so they enter the electrostatic field. After the applicator is empty, turn off the system. Ground out the applicator by touching it to metal or to the floor. Remove the high voltage wire and ground it out in the same manner. Overshoot the fibers to ensure full coverage. Be sure to shoot the fiber perpendicular. To do this, keep the applicator parallel to the surface. When all of the surface area is completely saturated with fibers, you are ready to use the flat applicator. The flat applicator holds no fiber. It actually picks up fibers and shoots them again. Fibers will wedge between fibers and not be embedded into the epoxy. The flat applicator will pull them up into the electrostatic field and shoot them again. After this process with the flat applicator, the surface is done. It only needs to cure now. This can be achieved naturally in 24 hours, or heat lamps may be used to decrease curing time. Refer to the manual for further instructions. Remove your ground wire and clean your alligator clip. When the surface is cured, remove all excess fibers with a vacuum. An air compressor may also be used to blow the excess fibers off. Static guard is recommended to help remove excess fiber that is not embedded into the epoxy. Vacuum after each application. Using a flat applicator without a ground will also aid in removing excess fiber. For headliners and camper shells, we recommend a final application of hard-to-hold hairspray to make any remaining fibers that you are unable to get out not fall out at a later time. Use throwaway rollers, but your china bristle brushes will need cleaning to be certain they serve you for a long time. First, clean with acetone and remove. Next, clean with mineral spirits and hang up for future use. Make sure your brush or any tools are free of epoxy. You are done. It is fully cured, vacuumed, ready for delivery. silkscreen applications, you must use a thick plastic and a 50 mesh screen. Squeegee the epoxy through the screen and shoot. If you have any questions, refer to the training manual. If the answers are not there, then call our technical support number.